Hello.
How about?
And we're just waiting on the verb. I went ahead and threw stream up so ads can go off while we are hanging out.
Oh,
But yep. General game plan. We're all gonna die. Yeah, hopefully not. I forgot to change my go live notification, right? And you see, it's been appropriate for like the last 5 games because there was a solid chance of me perishing. I really hope I don't die mid podcast. That would be concerning. I don't know. It is Halloween. That's true. Happy Halloween to you too. So maybe that is how I perish. The Halloween spirits get me. There's supposed to be a Halloween. Oh, do I not? Do you have to unlock these? I see. There we go. Ducks. Yeah, I didn't know what to have in the background for a podcast, so I figured the Placid Duck Simulator would be the best choice. Except that you're so loud. Give me a second here. You got it. You got to turn down. You got to turn down. In fact, we don't need music. That's okay. Wait, this is Halloween. Look at him. He's precious.
yeah, because it's Halloween. So they give you a Halloween one to start off with.
Fantastic. I knew they were doing some Halloween stuff, but I didn't know the details of it. Yep, we'll wait for Worm to get here and then we'll get going. He just bob and true. See, this duck is representative of how I try and handle life, right? You just kind of go with the flow. You bob with the waves. You kind of drift. Hey, Keeper, how's it going? We're still waiting for one more person in the call. Were you wanting to join the call, by the way, or were you just going to hang out and chat? It is up to you, because I know you did sign up. If it was you, you'd be syncing. If you need anyone, I can. Well, we're going to have 2 people besides me, so it's not need. It's more of if you want to, right? So, ball's entirely in your court if you feel like you want to or not. Open this on PC and lurk. Bet. Just join the waiting room chat room, and I'll pull you in when I see you. Don't hate you. I won't hate you. That's okay. Look into his eyes. Be absorbed. Be absorbed in the duck. Look at him. I feel like he's kind of staring into my soul. BRB 10? Not 10. I have no idea what 10 is, but it's coming for you. 10 something. Can I pull you in? Go ahead and join the waiting room, and then I can pull you in. It should be like two calls beneath me, because I think maybe there's a way to put you in without you being in a chat yet, but that's the only way I know how to do it. Because I have the technology skills of like a grandfather. You have to like tape buttons on the remote so that they don't press the wrong button and ruin their TV. That's about where I am. Uh, that's fine. I can make that work. Go ahead and throw yourself in chaotic screams, and I can pull you in from there. There we go. And then we go up to here. Wow, look at that. Technology sure is beautiful. Welcome in.
Unlock.
All right. So, since we got 3 people, I say we go ahead and start, and we'll just pick up Worm when they get here. Alright, so, the first thing we were going to talk about, because today's a podcast, and when you're at a podcast, you talk about things, right? So that's what we're going to do. I say we start by discussing personal experiences, right? Because most people at some point in their lives have had something happen that they can't quite explain. Something that they've seen, heard, maybe even felt that was just off. And they still remember it to this day because it just didn't sit right. I'll start with mine to kind of lead us off. And I don't have many experiences like this, but I have one that really sticks out to me. So this is pretty recent, past couple of years or so. I was laying in bed. I was asleep, and then I woke up in the middle of the night. I could not move. I could do nothing except look directly ahead. And I heard a noise that was slowly getting louder. And it was a whole bunch, a cacophony of whispers saying things that I couldn't make out. And the whispers just grew louder and louder into a crescendo. And I couldn't hear anything else. It was almost bursting my ears. It was so loud. And then suddenly, silence. All of during which I could not move a muscle. And I've chalked it down to being a night terror, but it is by far the most spooky thing I have personally experienced. Now, Poke, I'm curious, have you had any personal spooky experiences yourself?
It's funny you mentioned the story you did, Mitsuba,
Uh-huh.
because usually the two, like, given, like, are you sure it wasn't this? Are you sure it wasn't that? Is night terrors, or was it sleep paralysis? Which, I have several
Hmm. Okay. Let's hear them.
of the where people have told me, "Are you sure it wasn't sleep paralysis?" And it's the last one that makes me think this was not simply sleep paralysis.
Okay.
So the first one, essentially, this was about when I was 10. No, not 10. This was when I was 14.
Okay.
So we had just had something happen IRL wise, specifically that I won't go into detail about. Uh, but essentially, in my own room, I felt unsafe for some particular reason. And my sister was staying over at one of her friend's house. So I was like, I'm going to go from my room. I'm going to sleep in my sister's room because it should feel safer in there because I don't feel safe in my room.
So it was that bad. You literally like had this impending sense of dread that like or impending sense of danger almost, like your fight or flight, that like your room was not safe, that something was wrong and that you had to just be somewhere else, that it was that
There
bad.
was something there. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, but when you moved to your sister's room, did you still feel it or was it like gone after that?
Oh, I didn't feel it like when I went into my sister's room. So I went to sleep like normal. And
Okay.
then I woke up and couldn't move. About the most that I could move was my head, which I could tilt left and right. To which I looked over to the right because that's where the edge of the bed was from me.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, to see this towering figure that was just completely darkness, other than the fact that it was wearing a white robe that was completely white, and its skin was like completely stitched together
Jesus Christ.
with completely black eyes.
Terrifying.
Which it held me there for a good minute, which I had the feeling that I was being choked.
Interesting. So did it like physically look like it was choking you or was this
No, it was just standing there.
But you felt like you were being interesting.
But
Okay.
I felt being choked. Yes.
Terrifying.
So that was the first one. So I was like, I'm gonna go back to my own room and sleep in my own room.
I mean, hell, if you're
And
gonna
then it
be
feels normal in there.
if you're gonna be haunted anyway, right? You might as well be haunted in your own room.
So second time, basically the same thing. Go to sleep. Oh, by the way, the first and second time is with the lights off.
Okay.
Go to sleep. Wake up again. And it's complete darkness. And I just see this, like, dark, maybe slightly purplish hued cloud of smoke that is in the corner of my room. With black eyes. Completely black.
Interesting. So the same as last time.
Same as last time.
Like a different
Except this time it was a cloud.
appearance. Yeah, different
A
appearance, but the
different
same
appearance.
eyes. Interesting.
Same thing. Can't move. Can tilt my head. And the feeling being choked. For about
Jeez.
a minute. The third time. Go to sleep in my room. This time I leave the lights on because I'm like, every other time has been with the lights off. So we're going to leave the lights on because technically with light should be safer.
You know, better the evil you can see than the evil you can't, at least, right?
So, go to sleep. Wake up in the middle of the night again. You would assume that I wake up that I see light because I left the lights on.
Yeah, you'd assume.
It's pitch black.
Oh my god, did the power go out?
No.
No. Okay. Was the
Like
light
my room is my room is locked. The lights are on when I go to sleep, so the lights are just on.
interesting?
But I wake up and it's pitch black. I can tilt my head to the left, which is towards the door.
Okay.
I tilt my head left. And I see this figure of a small child walk through my door with pure black eyes.
Ma'am, that's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to open the door. Walking through it defeats the whole purpose. But that's terrifying. So, but the same eyes. Again, different shape, but the exact same eyes.
Here's the funny thing. It took the the appearance of like, let's say like a 5-year-old tot that can walk.
Okay. So, like, really young.
After that occurred, like the day after, I was looking at the family pictures and I'm like, it took the form of younger me.
That's concerning.
So that was the third time.
So
The
this is
fourth
a
time,
repeat. Yeah, this is a repeat offender, whatever this is.
this is like every 2-3 days.
Wait, so this is all during a really short time period. Okay.
Yes. So the fourth time, which is the one that makes me think it's not simply sleep paralysis,
Okay.
uh, because every other occurrence has been like, singular, like
Hmm.
one occurrence in a night.
Yeah.
The fourth one, go to sleep, lights on. I wake up, it's pitch black again, and I see this figure that is made completely of like metal bars that is on fire, basically lunge at me. And again, being choked again.
Did it have the same black eyes?
No, it had pure red eyes.
Interesting.
Which, if you know anything about demonology, demons with pure black eyes,
Yeah.
are basically the low-ranking demons in demonology.
Okay.
When you get to higher ranking and commanding demons, they have pure red eyes.
Ooh. So Mans was trying to deal with you, failed 3 times, called in the manager, said, "All right, boss, I need you to deal with this one. He's being finicky. He's not scaring well enough."
So yeah, I'm being choked. It's pitch black. After what feels like a minute, it gets pulled off of me, and then I can see the lights again. And I move. So like I lean up, and then suddenly I'm slammed back down onto the bed again. I can still see the light, but I can't move again, and I'm being choked again by the same thing.
Christ almighty. Was this the last
And then
experience you had, or like was there more after?
this was technically the last actual physical feeling experience. But that one, what I also saw was that it got pulled off by what was the appearance of a silver angel.
Interesting.
The finishing part would be one more occurrence where I just felt the house become like nearly ice cold. Except this is the middle of summer,
Hmm.
where it's like 98 degrees outside.
Yeah. So either your AC is gonna run your electricity bill into the ground, or something else is going on.
So essentially, I feel it become ice cold, and I'm like, this is the exact same feeling.
Yeah.
So I pulled a Bible and I blessed over the entire house.
I remember you
Which,
telling me about that, because didn't you say that was a terrible idea?
yes, in essence, if you have no idea what you're doing, which technically I had no idea what I was doing, but I felt it was the best option for me at the time. Uh, it is extremely dangerous if you actually have a demonic like presence to actually do that, and if you don't do it properly,
Because you're just pissing it off, right?
pretty much.
I'd imagine it's the equivalent of trying to stab a vampire with a stake, but missing to the left a little bit. Now it's just pissed off that you tried to kill it with a stake. All right. Well, next, well, was there anything else you wanted to share, or was that
The
was that the
only
last
other
one?
thing I have, which others may or may not have experienced,
Okay.
is on occasion, you might out of the corner of your eye see a shadow person.
I've never
Oh yeah,
experienced that personally. Okay, but you have Keeper. This is
I've
something
had
that
that.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I've been talking the entire time and I've just noticed I've been muted.
You forgot. Oh no. I
Oh
thought you were
no!
just being really patient. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure to ask you next so that we can get that sorted. Okay, but yeah. So,
No, because yeah.
all
Oh, I
right.
was like, no, this is because I know a bit about demonology, right? Like I've tried to buy both the Lesser and the Greater Key of Solomon before.
Yeah, I know you've
Uh
told me that you have some experience.
Yeah, and I was like, so yeah, if you try to bless anything while there's an actual entity involved, you're not just trying to stab a vampire to the heart and missing. It's like you're opening a door and trying to shove something away, and if you don't shove hard enough, the door is now open.
Oh,
Yeah, you're basically opening a door. You're trying to kick it back through far enough and then slam the door shut and just completely lock it and seal it tight.
but if
Yep,
you
and if you don't
don't,
kick, if you don't kick hard enough, you've opened the door.
interesting. And see, this is part of why I thought it would be a fun idea to do a podcast like this. I know nothing about any of this, so it's always really interesting to
Oh
get to
yeah.
hear about it.
Yeah.
All right, and Braxy
Well,
actually had
that
a share.
that was creepy.
Yeah,
The
for sure.
most, the creepiest thing I've had. I was driving home one evening, and I don't know if this was sleep deprivation or if I actually saw it, but I've seen it like 3 or 4 times now. You know,
Okay.
out of the corner of your eye, you sometimes see like a little something, right?
Yeah, like
And then you look
movement
and it
or
disappears.
yeah.
You look and it's nothing. Yeah. So I was driving. I looked to the right because I saw something, and it's like, you know how your PC monitor glitches and you get like pixelated effects?
Yeah, sometimes.
There was like a patch of the sky that was just pixelated.
Interesting. So like
Just a glitch in the matrix.
interesting. And so, the
Full on pixelated.
one potential, like you said, is that you were sleep deprived, but another potential is that it was something that you just don't know what it was. It just looked weird. It looked off.
It looked like the sky glitched out, and I was like, God damn it, can we get a patch?
Can we get a patch in the Matrix?
Reality's breaking. I don't like it.
Come on, devs. Do you know how much I'm paying for rent to live in this, virtual landscape? Can you at least make sure that there's
Yep.
no bugs in the sky? Thank you very much.
We need a graphical update for real life.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
Yeah, that basically that was the creepiest shit because I know nothing what could cause that.
Yeah.
The most out there thing was like I worked in a hospital for like as a security guard for like 3 years, right?
Okay.
And it's always fun when you do your rounds, walk past the morgue, and there's sounds in there, even though you know the person in charge is sleeping upstairs.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh yeah,
Like just noises.
just noises. And then I opened the door and there was nothing there.
That's true. Because that's honestly gotta be the worst job to like have a paranormal experience as is security. Because you hear a really spooky noise, and part of you is like, nope, don't want to go near that. But part of you also
It's my
says,
job.
yeah, that's my job. I kind of have to because if it's some kid
No
causing
choice.
problems, that's I'm gonna get in trouble. So guess I'm gonna go fight a ghost. Oh
The
goodness.
kid wouldn't even be an issue. I'd be more scared if something stood up.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. You're supposed to be dead. Please get back on the slab. Thank you very much. Well, maybe they'll listen.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sure the supernatural entity will be super understanding.
No. Meanwhile, Braxky had a story they shared, which is that me and my friends were camping during summer by a lake, and at night it was impossible to sleep because it was one of those really loud tents that make noise all the time. We'd hear people talking, right? But it was completely dark out, so we'd go out with flashlights and never find anyone. But there was a stanky old shoe left by the riverside. I love the shoes detail. Uh, it tells me that either A, there was a murder happening, B, uh, there were some kids having quote unquote fun and didn't want to get caught. Or C, the shoes are haunted. These are the only logical
The sh
explanations I can come up with.
the shoes are always haunted.
Always haunted? Well, if they're stanky as they're talking about, definitely. In fact, they're probably the ones causing the ghosts. But
Oh yeah.
interesting. Camping is always one of those things, especially because so many creatures can sound like people, and when they scream, it's just I wouldn't want to mess with that. Too scary for me. Also, hello, hot dog. Welcome in. Your house is potentially haunted. Interesting. So I'm curious, hot dog. Why?
Yeah.
What about your house makes you think it's haunted? You can't just drop me a casual, yeah, my house is haunted. I want to know some deets. I want to know some information. Is it weird, shadowy figures in the corner of your eyes? Weird temperatures, lights flickering? Well, it's over 100 years old. That's a good start. That's a lot of time for something.
Let me ask, do you also have the aura of a green old man ghost in your house?
Okay, so before you finish that, I thought you asked hot dog if they had aura, and I'm like, I would say I'd say a hot dog has aura, but that's not quite where that was going.
Because I know in our house, this one is actually not a threat. There is a like if you actually see him, he is green aura. It's an old man that has been in this house for ages.
I see. He's just chilling. You know, he's just living. Well, I was gonna say living his best life. He's just living his best afterlife, I guess.
Because I'd seen him. My brother before me had seen him. Uh, my nephew has seen him. So
Start from the beginning. Might take a while to type. All right. Also, if you want to hop in the chat to share it, that is totally legal, but it's up to you. Either is fine. Also, there's no pressure to share if you don't want to. I'm just curious. But while Hot Dog is typing that out, uh, I'm actually okay. So on top of talking about scary stories, which don't mind a sudden intrusion. No, that's it. This was meant to be somewhat open mic. People can hop in, share, and then hop out whenever, or stay in and kind of comment and talk about stuff with people. If we get like 5 million people in chat, then maybe you'll have some people drop out. But yeah, no, go for it. I am in Void Canvas. If you join the live stream waiting room, I can pull you in. Perfect. And there you go. Hello, Hot Dog. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
hello.
All right.
Hi.
So I hear your house is haunted. Tell me more.
Let me start from the beginning. We moved in several years ago. It's a really old house. Also, the street name is really fitting. I don't want to dox myself, but it sounds like something out of like a Goosebumps book, to be honest.
Okay, interesting.
Anyway, the area I live in is in the south. There were a lot of battles here, like all around us. It's a really known place. And if you actually look up where I live, there's like places that are like, oh, this place is very haunted, and I've always taken that with a grain of salt. Like I believe, but I want proof.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Like a doubter.
I kind of got my proof when I moved in. So
Oh,
the whole place needed the electrical redone, so we couldn't move in right away. So the house was completely empty while we would come in and work on it and clean up. It was in kind of rough shape, over 100 years old, and it had like the landlord special, thick paint and everything.
yeah.
We had a lot of work to do. So one day, my husband and I showed up. There's nobody here. I mean, this house is empty. The walls are really thin. You know how they used to sell houses in Sears catalogs? Are you aware of that at all?
I am young, but I have heard of it.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those where it was like not super well put together. It doesn't have a lot of insulation. The walls are pretty thin. There's like nowhere to hide if, like, say a person wanted to sneak into the walls or in the ceilings or anything, just to get that out of the way. So
Okay.
we show up and we come in. It's a two-story house. And while we're cleaning up and moving stuff around, we suddenly hear really heavy footsteps running the floor above us, which is the room I'm in now, actually. Um, like running full speed, just sprinting back and forth across the room. We can hear it. It's so clear. So my husband and I look at each other and both run out of the house.
Yeah.
And we do what anybody would do. We call the cops because we're like, oh no, somebody has broken in. We're in trouble.
Yeah.
And we're sitting across the street. There's a church parking lot, and we're just sitting there in our car. And the police show up and they do a full walkthrough of the house. They check every window, every door, any place anyone could be. And they come out and they're like, there's nobody here. So we feel dumb. And one of the old Southern cops comes over to our car and he's like, it's probably ghosts. And he says it in a really thick accent I can't replicate. He's
Oh
like,
my
it's probably
gosh.
haunted.
Or is probably ghosts.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, very much like that. Very similar to that.
Oh my goodness.
So so that's how we started our experiences in this house. That was the beginning. Um we had an elderly cat who couldn't be around other cats, and we had an extra room in the house, so we set it up as a little bachelor pad for him. So there was like cat towers, and he had like things by the window that he could sit and look out. He had his own really cool place. And we put a camera up there so we could keep an eye on him. So he had a camera in his room, and we started seeing things on the camera. Like we started seeing what looked kind of like the classic orbs you'd see, and I was always like, haha, bugs. There were
Yeah.
no bugs in that room. There were no bugs in that room.
Oh no.
Uh so we would see him on the camera, he would react to them and like follow them with his eyes across the room. I went in there so many times looking for anything that could make it. Nothing. Nothing. And okay, our roommate who lives with us does not believe in anything paranormal, supernatural at all. The amount of times he has come up to our door and being like, "Why were you knocking on my door? Like, what's wrong? Why were you banging on my door?" And we're like, "Dude, nobody was banging on your door. We've been silently up here this whole time." And it kept happening. Uh, I also have like brief video footage of the chandelier swinging in our entryway with nothing, like there are no vents or anything near it, and we don't even have working like heat or air conditioning. What else?
Interesting.
We've seen shadows. My husband and I have both seen each other in areas of the house we were not currently at. So I have seen and heard him like downstairs when he was right next to me.
That's weird.
He has seen me walking through the house when I was up in bed. We have no explanations for any of this. We went all out. We got the carbon monoxide detectors, everything. We tried to debunk everything, and we've been able to debunk nothing. It's so bad that I have tried to look into the history of this house to see if there's anything here.
Well, now I'm
The animals
curious.
all the animals all react. We've never come up with anything. The animals all react to stuff. There is a really strong scent of original Old Spice in our half bathroom downstairs that comes and goes. And we were like, well, maybe it spilled, but we've lived here for years. We've cleaned that bathroom top to bottom repeatedly.
You know, this is actually just an Old Spice commercial for how strong and durable Old Spice is. You know, and this whole thing, this podcast is brought to you by Old Spice.
I wish they don't even make original Old Spice anymore. It smells amazing.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
now introducing original Old Spice, Febreze.
So
But
good it'll
yeah,
last longer than you will.
we hear footsteps constantly up and down the stairs, in the rooms. I we don't know. We have no explanations for anything.
So, are the ghosts like I know again, I don't know a lot about this kind of stuff, but I know oftentimes ghosts can either be malicious or like benign. Like they'll just chill out and just like do things on occasion, or they'll like not want you there. Things like that. What has been
We've
your
had
experience?
we've had no indication that it doesn't want us here. It does seem to like the animals. When we had to move the cat out of the bachelor pad and into another room, we had a lot of like things falling down or not being knocked off the walls. And
No,
we
I just hope you don't have a genius loci in.
Who's a what now?
I
A genius loci is a spirit of a place. They generally, to grow up either takes like, for a spirit to grow up takes either like hundreds of years or sacrifices.
Interesting. So because it's a really old house, maybe, and it's near a battlefield, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
there was a like our
So
town has a big history in various wars.
All right, but
genius loci are not the best to have around.
I see. I imagine they're territorial, given, you know,
Depends on the spirit, but generally, if you do something against the spirit of a place, they're not so friendly anymore.
Interesting. But I wonder, since it seems like, Hot Dog and them have been good caretakers and have tried to, improve and maintain the house, right? And keep everything,
Oh yeah,
working. Maybe that's like a good thing, right? Maybe that's why the ghost is just chilling with the cat.
I heard a story of like a genuine loci that was like a spirit of a place, and they converted it into like an archive or something. And if you were on good terms with it, you found your paperwork. If you were on bad terms with it, you didn't find your paperwork.
That is funny. I love that. It's like
That's
it's like
very
a teacher ghost out here, like, well, see, you were late to class. You don't get to find your homework today. But Hot Dog, I'm curious. Did you have anything else to share about it? Because I feel like there was a bit more there.
I mean, really just those. I I don't know. I don't know if anyone has any logical explanation that isn't paranormal in nature, that isn't like, hey, maybe you should get checked for schizophrenia.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you checked a lot of your options on that front. Like even carbon monoxide, you went all out in terms of like trying to figure out what it could be.
Yeah, we did, because I mean, it does make you feel a little bit crazy when stuff is happening and you're usually pretty logic based and you're like, I believe, but at the same time, I need proof.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it makes sense, right? Like you don't want to just jump to conclusions. You want to have some evidence. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would say it's more likely for something physically to be wrong than for there to be a ghost. I feel like that's reasonable, right? So it
yeah.
would make
Oh yeah.
sense. But when you start running out of other options, you start to, wonder maybe it really is, because what else? I've run out of things to test.
Well, considering you've had no issues, I'm just gonna be like, if the house walls don't start leaking blood, you're fine.
That's
Yeah,
been our point of view. I think my husband said basically that exact same thing because, he was the same way, very skeptical. But once we realized we couldn't explain away the big heavy footsteps in the house that were like running around, there was nothing that could have caused that. The house was completely empty. And we don't have like
Yeah.
neighbors attached to our house. It's a standalone house.
interesting. I did have
Fair.
one question, and it's not spooky related, but it's just something that I have to wonder, which is that has your roommate given you a hard time at all? Because do they think that you're just like constantly knocking on their doors or slamming cabinets in the middle of the night, and you have to explain that wasn't us? And your roommate, who obviously is a non-believer, is like, yeah, sure, it wasn't you, it was the ghost, right? Like,
I
is
feel like a few of the times at the beginning, yes, he thought 100% we were like messing with him. But I think he's realized that stuff was happening when we weren't present. And so watching him get a little bit rattled, but still being like, no, nothing weird happening here. It's he's joked it off a few times. He's like, no, it's just, the wind knocking on my bedroom door.
It's
So it's
just the
been,
ghosts, nothing to worry about.
it's
he's like,
just
yeah, it's
Missy hiding in your
definitely
attic? Hello, Missy,
definitely
welcome
not a
in.
ghost. Hi, Missy. But
Oh,
yeah,
Oh, it's definitely not the amethyst that I lost behind my desk that was never found, not found by me, not found by my family. Is just
oh,
missing entirely. Despite the fact that it was dropped behind my desk, I just never bothered to like get it back up. But I was like, I'll get it later whenever we move the desk. Move the desk, go clean behind there, and the amethyst isn't there anymore.
it's
I
like
see.
in the floorboards, all the molecules like lined up perfectly for it to go through.
Off topic,
Or it's been claimed by something.
did any of you as kids, this is totally off topic, but the way you said that made me think of this. Did any of you as kids ever try and phase through objects after you learned
Yes,
about atoms and be like, oh, can I just
100%.
line
Everyone,
up and phase through the door? Yeah.
100%.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone in that.
everyone, I think.
Okay. Okay, so I never tried to phase through objects. Instead, I dabbled in something else that I managed to actually do.
Oh my god. Given your history with the demon, what'd you do? And is this the cause of the demon?
No, this is not the cause of the demon.
So you think.
Uh,
Demon's like, yeah, that's what I want you to believe.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it could have potentially been a slight cause, but like,
Well, now I gotta know what'd you
like
do.
this was like after the demon situation. So I may have astral projected.
Ooh, okay, so I've heard of this, but I know absolutely nothing about it, other than it has to do something with like your spirit being outside of your body.
Yeah, so basically you're concentrating your energies into basically when you go to sleep, that you are pulling your soul from your body to be able to go visit somewhere else.
No,
Oh
Missy,
yeah,
not astral projecting. Okay, but where did you go? How did that work? What
Oh, I went to
happened?
Tokyo.
Bro, you went to Wait, hold on.
I sat on a fucking like a fucking skyscraper there and just watched the crosswalk of like 10,000 people just walking across it the whole time.
Okay, Poke, you got to teach me this because see, I've always wanted to go to Japan. I thought it'd be a cool trip, but it's expensive as hell. So if you're telling me I can just like astral project over there, sure I don't get the food, right? But definitely a lot cheaper than airfare these days.
There is one caveat, which is you shouldn't astral project too long. And also, you're running the risk because basically, like, you're running a thread between your body and your soul. So
it's good
it
snap.
could be fucked if that thread gets snipped.
Oh, okay. So actually, I actually did know a little bit about that because I think D&D, funny enough, the actual protection spell in D&D, they included that little tidbit as well with the thread that if it gets cut, you die instantly because your soul is then separated from your body or your spirit. Which okay, so
Oh yeah.
interesting.
Or essentially, you might not technically be dead, but like your body is just asleep, or it's in a fugue state.
Your spirit would be gone, whatever that might
And it's
entail.
like, you as a soul, good luck. We hope you can find your body from where you're at.
Yeah,
Interesting.
my out of body experience was better.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've been to Nirvana then.
Nirvana. Okay. So some sort of like other plane, be it heaven, Nirvana, something along
Basically,
those lines.
I was meditating while in a car, right? I wasn't driving.
Okay, good. I was
I
about to
was a bit
say,
too young then.
I hope
Yeah.
you're not in Nirvana
I
while
was
you're
not.
driving. That sounds dangerous.
I was not the driver, but yeah. So basically, I was meditating, and all of a sudden, I opened my eyes, and I was in like a sea of gold, like a transparent gold with bubbles.
Interesting.
Oh yeah,
So,
and it was peaceful as hell.
so was it like liquid gold or was it just the color gold?
It was like a transparent gold colored energy, basically. I don't know how to describe it.
Okay. That's fair. But some sort of, so it was something not like physical. If it was an energy, it was
Yeah,
almost
not
like,
physical, no.
yeah. Or if it was physical, it'd be more akin to like a gas or like something
Like a
that's like a
mist, yeah.
fog, mist.
Like a
Yeah.
mist or a gas, yeah.
See, that sounds much nicer than what Missy just typed, which is that when
Oh
she
yeah.
was young, when I was young, I would have a recurring dream of getting chased by a clown around my neighborhood, which is weird because I've never been afraid of clowns. Uh, I'm curious if this was around when clowns are like popular. Like the clown people would walk around just in clown outfits because I had some of those in my neighborhood too.
She, like, the spirit of Pennywise was like, she's not afraid, let's fix this.
The spirit of Pennywise, oh no.
I will say though, your visit to Nirvana trumps my visit to Tokyo. I will say that I can give confirmation of existence because I have felt the energies of other realms.
Oh, interesting. So I want you to expand on that if you don't mind. I'm kind of curious to hear what that sounds like. Also, hello, Cookies. Welcome in. No, you were there at
Hello.
carnivals and you enjoyed them. I don't know. Maybe that is weird. The brain does work in mysterious ways. So I'm
Yeah, and our
curious.
experiences were probably different as well because I was there for like half a second. And then I got
Well,
unceremoniously kicked out.
then you're not supposed to be here yet. Go on, get. And of
Well, there's
course,
not
cookies.
terribly
yeah.
much I can elaborate. Like I said, I felt the energy of other realms. So that brings me to my belief that, there are several different forms of afterlife that you could end up at depending on beliefs.
Interesting.
But like I felt I felt heaven, I felt hell, I have felt limbo, I felt nirvana, I have felt bearing different realms Midgar. I have felt the energies of like Ragnarok slightly.
Well, those are fun.
I'm actually kind of
Yeah.
curious then. So based on that, would you theorize that maybe these other places are created by the belief itself, and that so the belief in these places is what brings them into existence through some
There's
sort
a
of,
potentiality.
because that would make sense, right? If you're saying you experienced all these different ones that various people from different places would believe in, right? Like, it would make sense maybe that belief of those people like creates the place. But of course, that is beyond spooky cast knowledge. I am not a philosopher. I am not that knowledgeable. That would just be maybe my
I mean,
brain scratcher.
there is the theory where something could be manifested from belief, which is why usually uh like angels and devils usually are fairly commonly considered being seen, or at least believed to have been seen, just because there's a gigantic amount of belief in that,
I mean, you
which
have
could
to
Interesting.
look
bring
at it like
manifest
this
to it.
as well. Every single civilization, no matter how far removed, has stories of dragons, and they generally have the same or similar descriptions. So,
True. So like those similarities, kind of like one I always heard is like the flood, for example, from the Bible, but also from multiple other belief systems that talk about, a great flood of sorts at some point in their history. All of these shared experiences would imply some sort of common origin point, if you will, right?
yeah, well, pretty much.
Interesting. Well, if that is all the spooky experiences for now, I did have a next step, but I want to make sure everyone has a chance to talk about all their spooky experiences they want to. Also, people are free to hop in and out as they like. There is no pressure to stay the entire time, so just making that
Oh
clear
yeah,
now.
also sorry if you hear me coughing.
That is okay. I've
I,
been coughing the last week. I'm used to it. So,
I do
Thank
have
you.
two other light things, uh, which other people may or may not have had. Uh, so there is knowledge that you shouldn't have had. Uh, so the only story that I really have that have in memory is from my mom.
I'm gonna say real
Uh,
quick before you go into that, hot dog, were you gonna say something real quick?
Oh, I was just going to say thank you for having me. I'll hop out and then I'll keep listening to everybody.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for letting me talk about my spooky house.
Of course, it was fun. It was very much an enjoyable story to hear, and I'm glad I got to. And thank you for sharing it with everyone. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. Have a good night.
All right, we'll see you later, hot dog.
Bye.
oh,
All right, go ahead. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure.
so yeah, the only story I have, which was from my mom. Apparently, her as a young child, she was visiting a graveyard for a family member, with her grandmother.
Okay,
To which she goes up to this one grave and is just like, "This boy drowned in the river."
interesting. So she could just kind of tell.
Yeah, she could tell. Which her grandmother was like, "There's no way that happened."
Yeah.
goes to ask the graveyard keeper, just like, yeah, that boy actually did drown in the river.
Interesting. So just like a vague something, maybe. How would you describe that? Like just expressing an understanding almost through just their presence. So you can just kind of feel something is the case. Almost the equivalent of like when you can feel something is wrong, even though you don't know, like you'd have no reason to think something is wrong, but you just feel it and it ends up being true.
Probably very similar.
Yeah, interesting.
The other thing is uncanny intuitions. Uh, there's been a number of times where both me and my mom have been like, she'll decide to leave early for some reason for something, like way early instead of just normal early, because she has this feeling like something's not going to be right if I leave at the normal time. So I'm gonna leave early.
Interesting.
To which I've been like, I'm gonna leave late. Like, not late that I'm going to be like behind or anything, but like late for what we're intuiting. To which she apparently went through a place before a wreck happened. And I went
Oh,
after the wreck happened.
interesting. So just kind of like a premonition might be a good word for it, but just like a feeling that like something is going, like the danger thing I was talking about, something is wrong, something is going
Yeah.
to happen. I should leave before then. So you know, you would have been in a dangerous situation had you gone at the normal time, right?
Yeah, kind of like premonitory, like intuition or feeling. Yeah.
I can't say I've experienced that personally. The closest I get was back when I was in middle school. I used to get in trouble a lot, and I could tell when I was about to be in trouble. But I think that's more just that's more I think
Uh,
physical tells than anything else when the parents are
That's probably
upset.
physical tells and guilty conscience.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
that's more
probably
like you
not.
knowing, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like shit, I should not. It's like that one scene with Hagrid. I should not have said that.
Yep,
But you said
pretty
you had a second
much.
one too, right? Oh wait, no, this was the
Oh,
second one because the first one was
that was the
knowledge, right?
second. The
Yeah,
first one was the knowledge that you should not have possessed.
I see. All right.
Also, Missy added in.
Oh, I see. Missy said that. My dad had that before. He got a bad feeling where he was gold mining, so we left for the day. The next morning, we found a tree had fallen where we were mining. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, this is a shared experience. And
Oh
so
yeah.
the logical explanation I've been given for this, because this is one I've actually heard before and I find is interesting. And I think the logical explanation makes sense for like some of them. I don't know if it makes sense for all of them, is that you will notice things or hear things or feel things that just can't, like your brain doesn't process it logically, but subconsciously you understand. So for example, like with the tree falling, the argument would be that like maybe it was creaking too much, maybe it was already starting to shift just a little bit, and you saw it,
Oh
and
yeah.
your brain did not say to you logically, hey, that tree's going to fall. To you, you just said you didn't really pay attention, right? But that subconscious part of your brain said, hey, I noticed that tree shift, danger, right? So I'm curious where one begins and the other ends, because like that makes sense for the tree, but that doesn't make as much sense for the car accident unless your mother has super hearing and could hear the person driving recklessly, and predetermine the path somehow in their mind. That's one that's a little more interesting, right? Like that you can't explain that with just your brain being perceptive. So yeah, super super interesting. Good take on it. Yeah, see, that's I generally like that approach. But I let me put this out here. I am pretty heavily a skeptic, but I'm a skeptic who understands that there are things we don't understand and that you should never discount possibility unless you have absolute hard evidence that disproves it. And even then, evidence that used to be hard evidence disproving something sometimes ends up not being true in the end. That's why even gravity is, a theory, right? Technically, one day we might disprove gravity as we understand it, and that's okay. That's how science works, right? So that's kind of my way of like taking the paranormal things like that and uh, rectifying, justifying, trying to think of the word here, but letting it live peacefully alongside, science in my mind, right? Trees supposedly give off frequencies, so maybe that too. Maybe. I know some plants have like things they release to say, "Hey, I'm in danger," to other plants. Uh, could be something along those lines. But yeah, it's just interesting to kind of hear these things and think about and theory craft and just kind of listen to it and be like, "Wow, that's kind of crazy, isn't it?" But
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a lot of crazy shit that happens.
yep, the world is full of a lot of crazy stuff. Now, I am curious, any other interesting stories before we move on? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move us on then, because the next thing is, if I remember right, Keeper, you are somewhat of, I'll say, an expert in the field of SCP. Am I remembering that correct? That you are pretty familiar with
Oh
it,
yeah, I've listened to at least a couple hundred of them.
and okay, I don't remember exactly how much media you are familiar with in terms of like spooky horror kind of, even maybe horror mystery media. Uh, but I was curious for y'all to share some of your favorites with me because I personally am very uneducated, right? Like I know the basics. I've watched someone play the SCP game before, so I know about like the concrete man who will snap your neck. I've heard about the person who, has the photograph that if you look at it, they'll find you anywhere in the world. But my knowledge is
Yeah.
very shallow, right? So I thought this would be a fun experience to get some like
So
background or some ones that y'all think are really cool or like stories, media that y'all think is really cool that you would want to share.
how do you want to do them?
How? Well, that's kind of up to you, right? So if there's like an SCP, for example, I would say like if there's an SCP that you're like, man, this thing is really cool, and I think everyone should know about it, or at the very least, I want to talk about it for a little bit. Then just kind of tell me about it like you were telling someone about something that they wouldn't know about,
I
right?
I doubt I'll do it justice.
Oh well, that's okay.
There's whole videos about it, but sure, I can tell you about my favorite SCP because its conception and how it was created is spooky as all hell, and it's wholesome as well.
Interesting. And yeah, if you're worried about doing it justice, think about it like a Spark Notes, like you're trying to convince someone that, hey, you should look more into this later, right? Give me like the rundown that would get me interested, right?
Okay, so we'll be talking about SCP number 999 then. The
Okay.
Tickle Monster.
Which monster?
The Tickle Monster.
The Tickle Monster. Okay, see, I'm already 100% hooked. I was expecting something like, the Brain Flare, or,
Oh, I'll give you another one later that has a much different name.
okay, good. We'll get to the
But I
Brain
think
Flare later.
The Tickle Monster is probably the best introduction you can get to SCP, I think.
Okay, I'm ready.
The Tickle Monster is a gelatinous blob that's a bit bigger than a human, I'd say. Yeah, I could say a bit bigger than a human. And it's basically an antidepressant in monster form. It has been known to cure depression if you hug it long enough.
Interesting.
It was created by a crazy ass evil experiment they did with some like SCPs have numbers, right?
Yeah.
But no one can agree on number one. Number one is ambiguous. There's like 13 approved suggestions for number one, I think. It's like the big bad at the end of a campaign, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
That's basically what SCP-1 is. So the Tickle Monster is an offspring of one of the SCP-1, and it's theorized that it's like its opposite. Like if it ever invades or comes to our dimension, the Tickle Monster will stand against it. So
Okay.
it is really just pure happiness in monster form, basically.
Okay, and
It's
is it safe to assume that that
yeah,
SCP-1 is almost like the embodiment of despair or grief or like uh,
it's like Satan but worse.
Satan but worse? Okay, that is definitely a pretty serious thing then.
Oh yeah, like SCP ones are like one of them is which is a good one. The Guardian of the Gates, for instance, which is just an archangel that guards the gates to heaven. Uh and a couple of others like that, cosmic level power,
Yeah.
old gods. And the Tickle Monster is birth of the seventh wife, I think. All other six were evil as hell and are SCPs of immense power. Like, one of them is an immortal lizard that they try to kill in numerous ways and are unable to, for instance. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, the Tickle Monster's kind of like the opposite of that, That's why it's my favorite. There are a few rules with the Tickle Monster. You're not allowed to give it soda because it gets sick.
Aw.
You can only like it roams freely in the base it's kept at, and you can hang out with it during your break.
Interesting.
So it's a wholesome one. I really like it. It's fun.
Yeah, and
And then you have other ones that are not as fun.
oh, not as fun as the Tickle Monster. Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, you talked about knowing something about the sun, I remember.
Knowing about which one?
About the sun that,
Yeah, the sun.
is really.
That like occasionally the sun will kill you and an SCP causes it, and I'm not sure on the
Oh
details.
yeah. There's that. There's also the flesh that hates, which is like the Halo flood but flesh form kinda.
Wow, I hate that.
You have just another murder monster. That's really a good one as well. So it's a monster that's vaguely humanoid, that has blade arms and a blade tail. And if you look at it, it ceases to exist. So
Interesting.
the only way they got like they did anything with it is by looking at its shadow.
Does that apply to photos of it as well?
Uh, if you point a camera through it to it, it will cease to exist, I believe.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty wholesome one though. In the end, they teach how to cook and it becomes like a master class chef.
Interesting. So SCPs, and see, this is something that I always find interesting. They have like a range of sentience and
Oh yeah,
yeah, like Phantom and Phasmo is that's probably a good description of kind of how it
like
seems to
cognito
function.
hazards are the worst. A cognito hazard is a thing that impacts your mentality, basically. It
Okay.
has a cognitive effect. There is one that I really, really hate that is just a sword, right? Or like a knife.
Okay.
And so people get that sword, they have it at home, and all of a sudden they start smelling things, right? They're single, they live alone, but they have pictures with their family in them and they don't know who that family is. And the house just smells like rot and decay, like more and more the longer they're there. God knows what it could be.
So there's no explanation. It just does that.
Yeah, it basically forces you to kill people and then you forget about it and no one else can perceive the dead bodies. All that's left is the smell.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, I hate that one as well, quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be more careful. Anytime I need knives, I am not going to a yard sale. I'm not going to a antique shop. I'm getting my knives from Cutco. As it, Cutco will not curse me to murder my family, so we're gonna call that a win.
Oh yeah, there's also the old man, which they contained. Like he's basically, I don't know, has minor time control, I'd say maybe.
Interesting.
And they put him in a cage, but he can travel through solid. So they had to suspend that cage in like really thin wires. The cage is like super thick and everything, and it's like barely keeping him in, and he can get out. I think he escaped like 5 times by the time that was written.
So why are they keeping him caged? What danger does he present?
He will pick somebody, take them into a room, and torture them and kill them, and
Oh, well, that's not very
you know.
nice. I think I
Uh,
like the tickle monster more than him.
there's also the coffee machine.
Okay, now I'm
It
intrigued.
will give you it will give you a cup of anything you want. And they figured that out because they used it as a coffee machine, right? They
Yeah.
saw it was a coffee machine. It has some powers, but it's a coffee machine. And then someone named Joey, went and ordered a cup of Joe and got a cup of his own blood
Oh. Oh
because it's a
no.
cup of Joe.
Yeah. That sounds. So I'm curious, and you may not know this. Did the cup of Joe take his blood to put it in the cup, or
Yes.
did it generate blood that was the same as his?
No, it took a bit of him.
Oh, so where do you think it's taking the coffee from? Is there like a coffee shop
God
nearby
knows.
that's just like has a poor barista who's like just shouting to the sky like, "Damn you, stop taking my coffee. I'm going to get fired because this coffee machine keeps stealing it every time." What have you hopped in on?
God knows.
This is the SpookCast Vexen. Today we are discussing all things spooky. We started with spooky personal experiences, and we have moved on to SCP and other media that I know nothing about, that people are telling me about their favorite things. Uh, if you have personal experiences you would like to share, you are free to, both in chat or in the voice call if you feel like joining. But that is kind of the general gist.
Also, another one that's super terrifying is the dare.
Okay.
So basically, one day SCP Foundation tracked a meteorite hitting Earth, right? Somewhere in the ocean.
Okay.
And then something started swimming towards shore. So the army mobilized, and that army got basically turned into hydrogen. I think it's
Like,
hydrogen. I'm not actually 100% sure, but it turns you into a different substance. Or anything basically into a different substance.
interesting. Is it always the same one or is it
So
random?
always the same. So it made like a place to rest, right? And they bound it there using a ritual, which requires human sacrifice, ceremonial dances, and a whole bunch of other things every day.
All to keep this thing contained.
Also, that it stays there.
Oh my goodness.
Because
Man,
it is an old god of some sorts.
that is problematic.
Oh, quite. There's also the Un-London. It's an exact replica of Renaissance London. Well, it's exact in the center, and it gets more fuzzy and fuzzy the more you go towards the edges.
Okay.
And it's basically an end game event, like contingency, supposedly. No one knows who made it, but it has like tubes that disperse some kind of food that makes you pliable. It has robotic cops. It has voice recordings that tell you things.
You know what this reminds me of actually? Have you ever seen the game or heard of the game We Happy? Is it We Happy Few? Yeah, I think it's We Happy
We
Few.
Happy Few, yeah.
It gives me really strong We Happy Few vibes of
Yeah,
it almost feels
only
like
it's underground. It's under London, and it is abandoned.
okay.
It also has beggars that you're not allowed to help.
And they're not real people, right? It's like robots or something because the place is abandoned, right?
I honestly can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while since I listened to that one.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, there's quite a lot of SCPs that are from amazing to horrifying to you should really take the time and listen to Vulcan's videos one of these days because he explains it as if he's a scientist giving a briefing on the SCP.
I see. So they
And
really know
it's
their
just,
stuff.
oh yeah, it's amazing.
I am curious. So one of the ones I heard about recently that I thought was funny is have you heard about the Infinite IKEA?
Oh yeah, Infinite IKEA is awesome. Well, it wouldn't be awesome being in there, but the premise is awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually I was watching a video talking about like the various games that have been made about it and how it has so much potential, but it hasn't been really capitalized on yet. And I'm curious. I'm hopeful. I
You could,
think. Go ahead.
if we get to the end of the podcast and run out of things to talk about, you could watch a few of his videos.
I'll think about it. Because depending on how late it goes, I was thinking I might just, once we get to the natural end of the podcast, just call it a little early. Uh,
That's
but
fair.
we'll see. It depends. I still think we have some other stuff to talk about, and hopefully we'll have people who keep hopping in like Vexen with interesting stories. Vexen is still typing, so I'm curious to see what kind of paranormal experience I'm about to be shown. It's quite the hefty one. But
Well,
actually,
Curious or scared?
while you wait for that, Musuba,
yes.
may I interest you in a blood candy?
Oh, what? Okay. See, I like this. This is a good intro. 10 out of 10. See, both of you have really strong intros here. You're both getting me really hooked. Probably not, but tell me why I should or shouldn't want a blood candy.
I mean, the only thing is where they keep the blood candy. You're never leaving that place if you're affected by it. Just know.
Ooh, so
But
it's
it is extremely safe. The only thing it does is that all of your bodily fluids they just take on the appearance and the smells and everything of blood instead of what they normally are.
wait, does that mean you taste blood all the time?
Probably.
Yeah, I feel like wait, your eyes are moist. How would you see? You'd have a layer of blood over your eyes all the time. Your eye juice would be blood.
Oh, I did not like that sentence.
I'm not the one who, turned my
I
bodily
did not
fluids
like
into blood. Thank you very much. But
I
I'm
did not like the
curious.
words eye juice.
I kind of regret that. I kind of regret that. But we're here. It's too late. We're gonna make it work. But okay, so Poke, tell me a bit about where this originates from, though. What is this? Is this an SCP? Is this
This is an SCP. This is SCP 942.
942? Interesting. And it's just a place that if you go, you eat the candy, you can never leave. Hotel California style
No, the SCP 942 is the candy.
is the candy. Okay, so why can you never leave the place once you've had it then?
Where it is stored and the building that's kept in, you cannot leave.
Oh,
Mainly
okay.
because, like I said, all of your bodily fluids they take on the appearance, the smell, and everything of blood, which then would cause a panic.
I see. So this is probably the SCP Foundation keeping you there for everyone's
There is
safety.
also the side effect, basically as a reaction to the effects of the object, not actually caused by the object itself, of you panicking yourself.
Yeah,
So
I imagine, if I tasted blood and saw red and everything was bloody, I would probably be, slightly panicked as well. Also, it looks like Vexen has posted their experience, so I'm going to get ready to read. There was a day when I was in high school and I took a shower and went to my room. I wasn't fully dressed yet, just partially. It was one of those things where I'd half dress in the bathroom, then slink away to my room to finish changing. I can relate. So I was chilling in my room and wrapping my hair up and stuff when suddenly I hear a loud and clear my father's voice, all sing song. Uh, Cassidy. Very, very abnormal for him. So I just say, I'm changing. Doors locked, so I'm not concerned and I get no response. I rushed getting dressed and then stepped out to see what he wanted. He wasn't home. At all. He had left 15 minutes earlier for groceries. He arrived 15 minutes later with groceries. The appropriate amount of time for the travel. I don't believe in that shit, but I have no explanation. Interesting. Okay, so you're a doubter, you're a non-believer, which is fine. But you have an experience that you cannot explain logically. That's interesting. So, was anyone else in the house at all, or was it just you? Because now I'm curious. Anyone who maybe could have just you. So literally, did you have anything in your house that played audio, like an Alexa or something, or was there any way there was a recording or something? Because this sounds a lot like what Hot Dog was talking about. They had experiences with being copied in their very haunted house. Uh, no, the only voice output thing we had went outside, far from where I was. Yeah. Hey, but remember, if the demons get you at the very beginning, you get an achievement. So just make sure they get you early. We had like a
It just has
baby.
to be within like what the first minute.
Something like that. It's very fast. We had like a baby monitor for the goats in the barn, and you could talk through that, but that was it. I never knew you had goats, and that's cool. Off topic, but cool. But anyway, that is interesting. So you have genuinely no explanation for this. Did you tell your dad about it? What did he say? No, you didn't. See, you were questioning reality. I think you should have asked. I don't know, man. I think you should have. You had pygmy goats and a pygmy potbelly pig. That is interesting. I love that. Yeah, that is for someone, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be a little questioning after experiencing something like that. That's kind of spooky. Well, thank you for sharing, Vexen. That was something all right. This was also at a time where I had depressive issues and did not want to further worry your parents. That is fair. I can respect that. That if you were going through stuff, and you tell your parents, "I'm hearing voices," at might
Yeah,
worry them just a little bit, just a tad.
that is sure to go over well.
Yeah, exactly. No, mom, it's the ghosts. Hello. Oh my goodness. You see, okay, here's the thing. I expected maybe one or two stories and then mostly just talking about SCPs and stuff. I did not realize so many people had so many experiences. I knew some of Poke's because Poke had told me before, but I didn't realize just how many people had things to share like this. That is interesting. I'm going to choose the word interesting, but it's definitely something. A lot more than I would have expected. You saw a ghost when you were a child. See, we got even more here. You saw a ghost when you were a child and was sleeping with your grandma one night. Woke up and she had a human-shaped figure hovering over her while sleeping. Past 2 weeks later, turns out, oh no, that's sad. So you think it was a family member from beyond? Do you think it was someone like there to help prepare her or watch over her in her final moments? Well, that's sweet. That is much sweeter than Poke's experience, at least. But interesting. All right. So also I had a question about SCP numbering, right? So if 1 is like the most like I guess I'll say evil, the most threatening, like lower numbers are more dangerous. Are higher numbers kind of, is it a scale where lower numbers are more dangerous and higher
No.
numbers are not?
It's supposed to be when they were added, but then they removed a bunch of them, so there's some holes. Because at the start, the SCP wiki, right, was just open to everyone. You could just put stuff in.
Yeah, it was like a fan
And then over
project.
time, yeah, over time, they actually started moderating it. And so you can't just fill it up with random crap anymore.
Yeah. I mean, and that's fair, right? Like you want people to still be able to contribute, but there's a certain level of quality you want to ensure once you get to that level of
Yeah,
like,
quality assurance, basically, yeah.
yeah. So that makes sense. But interesting. Okay, so that kind of changed up the numbers a little bit. I
Oh
remember there
yeah,
being,
well no, the numbers were the same. There's just holes in it now.
gotcha. Are people kind of working to fill those holes then?
I don't believe so. I think every new one gets a new number.
Every new one gets a new number?
I believe so.
Interesting. Okay, so the holes just kind of stay holes. So, I guess that's fair. Better than replacing them. Also, I need a moment. I will be right back.
Take your time. Mm.
Hi, I return. Okay, so I
Welcome
return.
back.
I return to a question. Mitsuba, would you ghost hunting? Would you do ghost hunting IRL? Um, here's the thing, right? I would probably be willing to, but I I feel like I'd have to figure out how I wanted to do it, right? If it was for content, I probably would not want to. Because while I'm sure there are some people out there who are genuine about it, my understanding that is a lot of like ghost hunting media specifically tends to be, how do I put this? It's done in such a way to exaggerate and make content, which is fair, right? That's their job. They make content. But I wouldn't want to do it unless I was like fake AF. Well, I don't want to be that harsh about it, right? But like and the media I've been watching is definitely inclined. It's like skeptic-based media, right? So it's inclined to lean towards that. But yeah, so I'd consider it, but I'd have to think about it before I committed to anything. But I don't inherently hate the idea. I'm also a VTuber
You
though,
al-
so
you also have to consider where you're going ghost hunting, which usually, in most of the cases, your danger is not the ghost you're actually hunting, but the stuff that you don't know is there,
Yeah.
which could be other people.
I was about to say other people, or could just be, tetanus on the rusty building, or, any number of
Or
things.
that, yeah.
Man, I don't know if I have good enough health insurance for that, but we'll see. Maybe one day. For now, we're gonna keep it to Phasmo, I think. I think that's much safer. Play Phasmophobia. That's the kind of ghost hunting that I think I'm built for. But who knows? Never say never, right? The future is mysterious. Maybe a milestone later on, maybe a couple Halloweens from now, we can do an actual ghost hunt. Uh, but yes, that is not one that was on my radar. But it's an interesting question. It's a good thing to bring up. All right, but now I was curious: is there other media besides SCP, or more SCPs? Obviously, is fine too, but that are interesting that would be fun to share about. Because again, I know nothing. I get to sit here and look at all of these with like big old wide eyes and be like, "Wow, that's so cool!" Because I am just totally out of touch with this stuff. So I'm just happy to hear about any of it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we could find some media that's wild and creepy.
Well, okay, but I'm just curious about stuff you already know about. If it comes down to finding stuff, that's not I don't we don't need to worry about that too
Let me
much. I'm mostly just curious
think
about
about
stuff
it.
y'all are passionate about.
I mean, I told you about the Ghost Hunt anime, right?
The Ghost Hunt anime? I think you did, but tell me again because I'm not remembering off the top of my head.
It's basically like, have you watched Mob Psycho, maybe?
Have I watched what now?
Mob Psycho?
Mob Psycho. Yeah, I actually really enjoy it. Isn't there a new season coming out soon?
Yeah, so you know how they have like the call for hire, right?
All right.
Like the agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ghost Hunt is the same, only it's quite a bit creepier than Mob Psycho's premise, shall we say.
Interesting. Okay, so it's like a group that like hunts ghosts and
It's a group of like teenagers that do dumb things and go into the haunted Winchester mansion, and not things I'd recommend anyone do.
yeah, things that like generally you would consider a bad idea. Okay. Well, hey.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Vexen, while I have you here, this is for you, and I meant to DM you about this earlier, but I haven't, and it's completely unrelated. But since we're talking about anime, I started watching one recently called High Card, and it's very good, and I think you would like it. It reminds me a lot of the kind of stuff you like to dabble in. Has the vibes. Uh, but yeah, there's that little short tidbit. There you go. You will evaluate. Yeah. Hopefully this goes better than the last one I recommended. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. I'm almost kind of tempted that unless anyone has anything else they're desperate to share, I might just go ahead and call it soon because it's been like an hour and a half. I feel like we've had some really fun conversations, and I almost feel like it'd almost be a good place to just say, hey, that's a good like 90 minutes of fun conversation. Call it there. But before I do that, I'm curious if anyone else has anything they want to talk about, share any other things they're excited about.
Oh, remember the game I recommended you?
Which one?
Dispatch, right?
Dispatch, yeah.
I am not sure if that is stream appropriate, just so you know. I
Okay,
started playing it today, and I don't know if there's a censorship option, but if you don't use the censorship, I would not stream that.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Twitch. The Twitch would send their assassins after me, is what you're telling me.
Oh yeah,
All right. I'll keep that in mind then. I'll
I
make sure.
just I started playing it today, and I would not stream that if you decided to play it because it is wild.
All right, that is a personal time game. Mitsuba's just scared. Missy, you know me so well. I'm always scared. I'm always terrified. I'm jumping at shadows. Unless it's Phasmo for some reason. Apparently in Phasmo, I just am completely fine 99% of the time. But, that makes sense for me. I'm scared when I shouldn't be, and I'm not scared when I should be. You got to keep the ghost confused. Something like that.
I do have one non-SCP based thing.
Perfect. I'd love to have some variety. What else? What are you thinking about? Give me your lore. Give me your knowledge.
Do you know about the Blue Man, Mitsuba?
I thought their show was good, but I definitely think it could use some originality.
Not that.
Different
The
Blue
Blue
Man.
Man.
The Blue Man. So not the group, just singular Blue Man.
Not the group.
Okay. No, I am not familiar then.
I'll just read a little tidbit.
Okay.
If you see the Blue Man walk, mind to him you do not talk. For if you see the Blue Man smile, your sweet soul he will defile.
How's he defiling my soul? I don't know. This guy just sounds like he has mad riz to me. I don't know. Man's gonna walk up to me, give me a sly smile, and my soul's gone. More explicitly being defiled. Like, I don't know. So, but I'm guessing that this is not a very charismatic guy, but instead someone who will steal your soul or something along those lines if you interact with him.
It is about on those lines.
Interesting.
He is a towering man
Okay.
with skin of ghostly blue.
How interesting. What is his origin? Is he just there, or like is he a ghost, or
He was initially believed to simply be just a ghost story, just a folk ballad, a little thing sung about at night before bed.
yeah,
Just scare you a little bit, but
make your kids behave
feel an
kind of
intrigue
thing?
before sleep. Yes.
I sense a butt coming.
So it can show up during the middle of the day. It could show up at the middle of the night. If you ever see him, you turn around and you run the other way. That is explicitly it.
See, now this is very interesting, but my brain is now stuck on this man, and thank you, Cookies. I will hydrate in just a second. This man could optimize his soul gathering so much if he just auditioned for and joined the Blue Man group. Because, every time people are cheering, man, that's like a whole audience worth of souls, and he'd blend right in. So I don't know.
Oh, just a fun fact though, it is actually possible for a human to turn blue.
Oh yeah, isn't it silver nitrate?
No, it's colloidal silver.
Colloidal silver. Okay, I knew it was something with silver. Okay, interesting. And if you take enough, you turn blue, right?
If you take way too much, it's like silver is like a natural defense against like let's say diseases and stuff. Like it functions like a secondary immune system while it's in your body. But since it's a heavy metal, it doesn't leave your body ever.
Yeah.
So if you drink a tiny bit whenever you're off, right, it's all good. But this dude drank like 2 liters of it a day or 4 liters of it a day. And he turned completely blue.
Well, maybe that's why he's out there stealing souls. I'd be kind of mad if I drank too much colloidal silver and I turned blue. I might be hunting down souls too. I feel like that'd put me in a bad mood. But it's always interesting hearing the things people come up with like this. And then, you get into like modern, or I say modern,
Oh
but
no,
more.
the blue man is a different thing. This is the dude that actually turns blue.
Yeah, I'm imagining it would be really funny if they were connected, but I'm imagining that they probably
Oh
are
yeah.
not.
Well, I hope not.
Unless is there some Illuminati triangle between the colloidal silver person, the blue man group, and the blue man? Is this like some government conspiracy? Are we gonna need to get the pin board and the strings all tied together? How are they connected?
God knows.
No idea. I did not know about the Blue Man until I actually discovered an artist by the name of Madame Macabre,
Nice.
who a lot of her songs are based off of either uh, SCPs, creepypastas, and generally stuff that either is horror or thriller or generally creepy based.
See, I like
But
stuff like that. I like artists who specifically who pick a theme and run with it. Like I think that's fun. So I think it's really cool to have that kind of vibe.
But I do like the way that her song actually puts it for the Blue Man a little bit better. Which is, should you see a vision of the Blue Man walking, mind to him you do not talk. Should you see the horror of the Blue Man smile, your sweet soul he will defile. Always is the mission of the Blue Man tracking, run away and don't look back. Hopeless is the terror of the Blue Man's victim, pray he spares you on a whim.
Interesting. So yeah, that's the other thing that's always interesting to me is like evil that is intelligent enough to have a whim like that, who could just leave you because they felt like it.
Those are the scariest.
Yeah, exactly. They are intelligent. And not only are they intelligent, they're unpredictable because they're intelligent. They can make decisions. They aren't going to act on instinct alone.
The worst thing a man can face is another man.
True. Because we're crazy. Never know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else people feel like talking about? I feel like I don't know. I've enjoyed this. This has been a lot of fun. I am glad that this worked
As
out the way it did. I have also learned much more than I ever could have expected.
It was definitely more on the personal experiences side, but yes.
Well, I mean, that's good, right? I think because talking about the media, that was kind of like my backup for like if we ran out of personal experiences and needed other stuff to talk about. But the personal experiences was I was really excited about because that's the kind of stuff that you know really you get to like talk about what happened to you, right? This isn't just this is some media, right? This is your personal experience. This is something that you were there for, and it definitely gives it more of a I don't know. I don't want to say more personal because, yeah, wow, personal experience is more personal, but you kind of get what I'm going for here. It's definitely interesting. I've enjoyed it.
yeah, this has been fun.
But yeah, I think I will probably go ahead and call it there just because, again, for a podcast, podcasts generally don't go for like 4 hours, right? Like, I think about an hour and a half is a solid amount of conversation. So
That is fair.
I am probably going to go ahead and call it there, and I will grade out. And then on Monday, I am going to be playing. Where are you? Probably Sunless Sea because I want to give it a try, and it seems like it would be
I'd
fun.
recommend you just try it before, because the pacing can be really slow, so I don't know if it's gonna be a streamable game.
Okay, that's fair. I will try it over the weekend, and if I feel like I can make it work, then we will do it on stream, and if I feel like we can't make it work, then I will think of something else and we'll go from there. But I appreciate you
Fair
guys
enough.
joining, everyone who participated, both in the voice call and in the chat. It was a lot of fun.
This has been fun.
For
Thank you
sure.
for having us.
Of course. And I'm going to go ahead and raid us out now, but I gotta go see who is on for me to raid out. And Elu is on, and Elu is fantastic, and is playing some Slime Rancher. So I'm gonna let y'all have some fun with her. Thank you for stream. Happy Halloween. And yes, happy Halloween to everyone. It is indeed the spooky day. Go have fun, hand out candy to trick-or-treaters, go trick-or-treating, watch spooky movies that you love for the 15th time, however you feel like celebrating. I hope you have an excellent time doing it. And wait, before I forget, because I'm a streamer and I need to do these things, there's raid messages. And all right, have an excellent rest of your day, y'all. And there we go. Raid, then we let the raid go through. Stop.